Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me by Carle. Before Monica went to bed, she looked out of her window and she saw the moon. The moon looked so near. I wish I could play with the moon, thought Monica, and reached for it. But no matter how much she stretched, she could not touch the moon. Papa, said Monica to her father, please get the moon for me. Papa got a very long ladder. He carried the very long ladder towards a very high mountain. Then Papa put the very long ladder on top of the very high mountain. Up and up and up he climbed. Finally, Papa got to the moon. My daughter Monica would like to play with you, said Papa, but you are much too big. Every night I get a little smaller, said the moon. When I am just the right size, you can take me with you. And indeed, the moon got smaller and smaller and smaller. When the moon was just the right size, Papa took it. Down and down and down he climbed. Here, said Papa to Monica, I have the moon for you. Monica jumped and danced with the moon. She hugged the moon and threw it into the air. But the moon kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And finally, it disappeared altogether. Then, one night, Monica saw a thin sliver of the moon reappear. Each night, the moon grew and grew and grew. The end. The Gruffalo's Child by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. The Gruffalo said that no Gruffalo should ever set foot in the deep, dark wood. Why not? Why not? Because if you do, the big bad mouse will be after you. I met him once, said the Gruffalo. I met him a long time ago. What does he look like? Tell me, Dad. Is he terribly big and terribly bad? I can't quite quite remember," the Gruffalo said. Then he thought for a minute and scratched his head. "The big bad mouse is terribly strong, and his scaly tail is terribly long. His eyes are like pools of terrible fire, and his terrible whiskers are tougher than wire." One snowy night, while the Gruffalo snored, the Gruffalo's child was feeling bored. The Gruffalo's child was feeling brave, so she tiptoed out of the Gruffalo cave. The snow fell fast, and the wind blew wild. Into the wood went the Gruffalo's child. Aha! Oh-ho! A trail in the snow. Whose is this trail, and where does it go? A tail poked out of a log pile house. Could this be the tail of the big bad mouse? Out slid the creature. His eyes were small, and he didn't have whiskers. No, none at all. "You are not the mouse." "Not I," said the snake. "He's down by the lake, eating Gruffalo cake." The snow fell fast, and the wind blew wild. "I'm not scared," said the Gruffalo's child. Aha! Oh-ho! Marks in the snow. Whose are these claw marks? Where do they go? Two eyes gleamed out of a treetop house. Could these be the eyes of the big bad mouse? Down flew the creature. His tail was short, and he didn't have whiskers of any sort. "You're not the mouse." "Oh, not I, but he's somewhere nearby, eating Gruffalo pie." The snow fell fast, and the wind blew wild. "I'm not scared," said the Gruffalo's child. Aha! Oh-ho! A track in the snow. Whose is this track, and where does it go? Whiskers at last, and an underground house. Could this be the home of the big bad mouse? Out slunk the creature. His eyes weren't fiery. His tail wasn't scaly. His whiskers weren't wiry. "You're not the mouse." "Oh no, not me. He's under a tree drinking Gruffalo tea." "It's all a trick," said the Gruffalo's child, as she sat on a stump where the snow lay piled. "I don't believe in the big bad mouse." But here comes a little one out of his house. Not big, not bad, but a mouse at least. You'll taste good as a midnight feast. "Wait," said the mouse. "Before you eat, there's a friend of mine that you ought to meet. If you'll let me hop onto a hazel twig, I'll beckon my friend so bad and big." The Gruffalo's child unclenched her fist. "The big bad mouse? So he does exist?" The mouse hopped into the hazel tree. He beckoned and said, "Just wait and see." Out came the moon. It was bright and round. A terrible shadow fell onto the ground. "Who is this creature so big, bad, and strong? His tail and his whiskers are terribly long. His ears are enormous, and over his shoulder he carries a nut as big as a boulder." "The big bad mouse!" yelled the Gruffalo's child. The mouse jumped down from the twig and smiled. "Aha! Aho! Prints in the snow? Whose are these footprints? Where do they go?" The footprints led to the Gruffalo cave, where the Gruffalo's child was a bit less brave. The Gruffalo's child was a bit less bored. And the Gruffalos snored and snored and snored. Goodnight, Goodnight Construction Site by Sherri, Duskey, Rinker, and Tom Lichtenheld. Goodnight, Goodnight Construction Site. Down in the big construction site, the tough trucks work with all their might to build a building, make a road, to get the job done, load by load. The sun has set, the work is done. It's time for trucks to end their fun. So one by one, they'll go to bed to yawn and rest their sleepy heads. Then wake up to another day of rough and tough construction play. Working hard to help his team, crane truck raises one last beam. Reaching, stretching, lifting high, he swings the beam into the sky. He'll set it down right on its mark, then off to bed. It's almost dark. He slowly folds his boom back in, and then with one last sleepy grin, he tucks himself in nice and tight, then cuddles up and says good night. Shh. Good night, crane truck. Good night. Spinning, churning all day long, cement mixer sings his whirly song. Now he's weary and so dizzy from the fun that keeps him busy. With one last spin, he pours the load. He's ready now to leave the road. He takes a bath, gets shiny bright, pulls up his chute, turns off his light. He cuts his engine, slows his drum, and dreams sweet dreams of twirly fun. Shh. Good night, cement mixer. Good night. Dump truck loves to work and haul. He carries loads, both big and small. He moves the dirt from place to place, then dumps it with a happy face. One final load spills on the heap. Crunch! Now dump truck's tired and wants to sleep. He lowers his bed, locks his gate, rests his wheels. It's getting late. He dims his lights, then shuts his doors, and soon his engine slows to snores. Shh. Good night, dump truck. Good night. Pushing with his mighty blade, bulldozer works to smooth the grade. He clears the way to level ground and fills the air with a thunderous sound. No one's as tough and strong as he, but now he's sleepy as can be. He puffs some smoke out of his stack, turns off his engine, stops his track. He curls into his soft dirt bed and dreams of busy days ahead. Shh. Good night, bulldozer. Good night. Scooping gravel, dirt, and sand, excavator shapes the land. He digs and lifts throughout the day, but now it's time to end his play. A few more holes to dig, and soon he'll roll to bed beneath the moon. He twirls upon his bumpy track, pulls his boom, stretches his back. He sets his scoop down on the ground and snuggles up without a sound. Shh. Good night, excavator. Good night. These big trucks, so tough and loud, they work so hard, so rough and proud. Tomorrow is another day, another chance to work and play. Turn off your engines, stop your tracks, relax your wheels, your stacks and backs. No more huffing and puffing, team. It's time to rest your heads and dream. Construction site, all tucked in tight. The day is done. Turn off the light. Great work today. Now, shh. Good night. Good Night, Little Blue Truck by Alice Schertle and Jill McElmurry. Thunder crashing, lightning flashing, two good friends were homeward dashing. Such a wet and stormy night! Their warm garage was a welcome sight. In they went and shut the door, but it wasn't very long before. "Ma!" said Goat. "Please, Little Blue, can I come in here with Toad and you?" "Cluck!" said Hen. "It's wet outside. I need a nice, safe place to hide." "Honk!" said Goose. "Don't care for lightning. Stormy nights are a little bit frightening." "Moo!" said Cow. "Can I come in too? I feel safer here with you." "Quack!" said Duck. "There's quite a crowd. Can I squeeze in? Are ducks allowed?" "Oink!" said Pig. "Is there room for me? I'm cold and wet as I can be." "Beep, beep, beep," said Little Blue. "There's room for you and you and you. Everybody gather round. Thunder's such a grumbly sound. Clouds bump and tumble in the sky, but here inside we're warm and dry, and all the thirsty plants below will get a drink to help them grow. Close to Blue, over and under, they listen to the rain and thunder. Duck said, loud as he could quack it, "Thunder's just a noisy racket." "Boom!" said Goat. "It isn't scary. I was not afraid, not very." "Just a noise," said Pig. "No wonder I'm not scared of a little thunder." After a while the clouds blew on. The night was still. The storm was gone. Goat said, "We feel better, Blue. It's easy to be brave with you." Pig said, "I feel sleepy now. Let's all head for home," said the Cow. "Beep!" said Blue. "Just hop inside. All aboard for the bedtime ride." The rain had stopped, and way up high the moon was a smile in a starry sky. "Good night, Pig. Here's your pen. Good night, Duck. Good night, Hen. Good night, Goat. You're home now. Good night, Goose. Good night, Cow." Horn went beep. Engine purred. Friendliest sounds you ever heard. Blue and Toad drove home together. Two good friends in any weather. Toad lay down on his own small bed. Croak! "Good night, Little Blue," he said. Blue gave one small sleepy beep. Then Little Blue Truck fell fast asleep. I Love You, Sleepyhead by Claire Freedman and Simon Mendez. Lion cubs romp as the sun slips away. In the soft golden light, there's still time to play. Soon they'll be yawning, 3 tired sleepyheads, watched by their mother all night in their beds. Waddling to Mummy, the tired ducklings quack. Sleepy from swimming, they're glad to be back. Safely they're tucked in their nest for the night, feathery bundles huddled up tight. Daylight is fading fast, softly dusk falls. Bedtime now, little ones, Mother Fox calls. Mom, we're not sleepy, the small foxes cry, as low in the pale sky the sun says goodbye. Wrapped up in love, little bear feels so snug, cuddled goodnight in a big mummy hug. Drifting to sleep, he sinks into her fur, warm in the soft snow, snuggled with her. High up, the trees catch the last rays of sun as 3 tired monkeys climb up to their mum. The sounds of the jungle, the rustling leaves, lull them to sleep in the cool evening breeze. Snug with their mummy, the rabbits are all tumbled together in one furry ball. Cozy and warm, they will sleep safe and sound, curled in their bed on the soft, mossy ground. Rocked by the waves beneath velvet blue skies, wrapped in her mummy's arms, small otter lies. Under the stars, in the dappled moonlight, one kiss, smiles Mummy, and then it's sleep tight. Snowflakes are swirling, all fluffy and white, sparkling like stars in the gleaming moonlight. Cuddled up close, little penguin stays warm through the cold frosty night till the first light of dawn. As Mother Owl hoots her sweet low lullaby, her baby owls blink at the star-studded sky. Through the dark treetops, her echoing call sings to the world a good night to you all. Baby whale drifts to the deep ocean's song, close to his mother all the night long. Down through the water, the soft moonlight streams as little whale floats in a sea of sweet dreams. Small panda sleeps as the stars peekaboo, held by his mother all the night through. Cuddled up close, she gives him a kiss. Tucked up together, they're perfect like this. Sleep, child, like the animals in the starlight. I love you, Sleepyhead. Sweet dreams. Good night. Snuggle Up, Sleepy Ones, by Claire Freedman, illustrated by Tina Macnaughton. The sun paints the sky a warm, glowing red. It's time to stop playing. It's time for bed. In the soft, swampy mud, baby hippo, so snug, cuddles up close for a big hippo hug. Through wild, waving grasses, shy antelope roam. It's been a long day. They are ready for home. Bold leopard cubs rest from practicing roars. They snuggle together, all tired, tangled paws. While up in the treetops, birds twitter and cheep, until quieter and quieter, they fall fast asleep. Below in their nest, baby porcupines all curl up snug and tight in one spiky ball. With tired, drooping necks, giraffes flop to the ground, sheltered and watched over, safe and sound. And mischievous monkeys shout down from the trees, "It's not really dark yet. 5 more minutes, please." Zebras lie panting, tired out from their play. They sink into sleep as the sun slips away. Moths go by fluttering, bats flitter by. Elephants rumble their deep lullaby. Shadows grow deeper, the lion cubs doze. Drowsy heads nod, little eyes start to close. Stars twinkle brightly, the moon softly gleams. Snuggle up, sleepy ones, hush now, sweet dreams. The end. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.